I stood there, fingers tightening around the glass in my hand, the ice clinking softly as the music swelled. The ballroom lights shimmered above, catching the sequins on her dress, the same dress I helped her choose a week ago. She laughed, head tilted back, and her hand rested lightly on his shoulder as they moved together across the floor. And for a moment, I wondered if I was the ghost at my own wife's party. Her eyes had not once met mine, not in the last 20 minutes since she started dancing with him. Not a glance, not a flicker. Just her, smiling up at him like the world had narrowed to only the two of them. I felt something tighten in my chest. Not anger, not yet. Something colder. Something that tasted like the first sharp crack in a window pane before the glass splinters. The party wasn't even supposed to be this grand. It was meant to be a small celebration for her promotion. Close friends, colleagues, a few neighbors. She'd worked hard for it, and I was proud of her. Helped plan it. I booked the venue. I invited the guests. And yet, standing there among people I barely knew, watching her dance with her coworker, Ethan, I think his name was, I felt like the outsider. She had told me he was just a colleague, really funny, the kind who keeps the office from going insane. But watching them now, the way his hand lingered a second too long at her waist, the way her eyes lit up for him in a way they hadn't for me in months. Something twisted in my gut. I set my glass down and started walking toward them. Maybe to cut in, maybe just to remind her I was still there. But halfway there I stopped. Because I saw her whisper something in his ear. And he grinned. And she blushed. My feet felt glued to the floor. I turned, quietly, and walked out of the hall. The night air was cool, biting almost, a stark contrast to the warmth of the ballroom. I stood outside beneath the yellow glow of the streetlight, listening to the faint hum of traffic. My phone buzzed in my pocket. 2 messages from friends asking where I'd gone. I didn't reply. I wanted her to notice. I wanted her to look up, see I was gone, and feel it. 10 minutes passed. 15. At 20 my phone buzzed again. Her name this time. Where are you? No apology. No worry. Just that. I stared at the screen, my thumb hovering over the keyboard, then slipped the phone back into my pocket and kept walking. By the time I got home, the house felt colder than it had in years. Her heels were still by the door from when we left together earlier that evening. The wine glasses from our pre-party toasts still sat in the sink. I went straight to the bedroom, loosened my tie, and sat there in the dark, listening to the clock tick. At 1:12 a.m. the front door opened. Her heels clicked softly against the floor. "James," she called out, voice uncertain. "Are you awake?" I didn't answer. She appeared in the doorway, dress slightly wrinkled, lipstick smudged just enough for me to notice. "There you are," she said, forcing a smile. "Why did you leave like that?" Everyone kept asking. I looked up at her. Did they? Or just him? Her face tightened. What's that supposed to mean? I stood, every word tasting like ash. "Do you even realize how you looked out there? The way you were with him?" She crossed her arms, defensive already. "We were dancing, James. That's it. Are you really going to make this into something it's not?" I let out a hollow laugh. "Something it's not? Emily, you acted like I wasn't even there. Do you know how many times you looked at me while you were with him?" "None." Her eyes flickered, guilt or maybe just irritation. "You're overthinking. He's a friend, that's all." I stepped closer. "Then why did you whisper in his ear? Why did you blush?" That made her pause. Just for a second. And that second was all I needed to know the truth. She sighed, the sound sharp as glass. "It wasn't what you think." "Then tell me what it was." Silence. Her jaw tightened, her hands fidgeting at her sides. "James, you've been so distant lately. We barely talk, we barely go out." "There it is," I cut in, my voice low. "Your excuse." "I'm not making excuses," she snapped. I miss feeling alive. I miss feeling seen." The words hung between us like a blade. I sat back down, staring at the floor. "So you found someone else to see you?" Her voice softened, almost pleading. It wasn't like that. It was just a moment. I didn't mean to hurt you. But you did. She knelt in front of me then, her hands resting on my knees. James, please. Got carried away. I shouldn't have. I wanted to feel special for one night. I looked at her, the woman I'd built a life with, the woman I thought I knew. And all I could see was the empty space where trust used to be. The next few days were quiet. Too quiet. She texted me from work, little check-ins, half-hearted attempts at normalcy. I replied, but with the kind of brevity that spoke louder than anger ever could. One night, I saw his name flash on her phone when it buzzed on the kitchen counter. She snatched it up quickly, muttered something about a work thing, and left the room. That was the moment I realized. It wasn't just a dance. It was the beginning of something she hadn't planned to tell me about. Not until it was too late. I started watching her more closely. Late meetings. Extra care with her makeup on Tuesdays and Thursdays. The days I knew he worked late. I found a receipt in her purse for a restaurant we'd never been to together. 2 glasses of wine. The picture started forming, piece by piece, like a slow, cruel puzzle. I didn't confront her right away. Part of me wanted to see if she'd come clean on her own. Part of me wanted to see how far she'd go before the guilt crushed her. But guilt never came. At least, not until I stopped pretending I didn't know. It was a Friday night when it finally snapped. We were in the kitchen, the hum of the refrigerator the only sound between us. Emily, I said quietly, where were you last night? She froze. I told you. Late meeting. At a wine bar. Her eyes widened. James, Don't, I cut her off. Don't insult me with lies. Her lip trembled then, the facade cracking. I didn't mean for it to happen, she whispered. I swear to you I didn't plan this. How long? My voice was steady, too steady. A few weeks. Closed my eyes. She reached for me but I stepped back. Please, she begged. It was a mistake. I didn't want to lose you. I just felt invisible, James. And he made me feel alive again. By dancing with him like I wasn't in the room. I asked bitterly. By sneaking around behind my back. Tears filled her eyes. I regret it. The moment you walked away that night I knew. I knew I'd destroyed everything. Regret. Such a small word for such a colossal wound. I didn't yell. I didn't break things. I didn't even ask her to leave that night. Instead I packed a bag the next morning and left. Not out of anger, but out of the aching emptiness that betrayal leaves behind. She called me, texted me, please come home, please let's talk, please don't give up on us. But here's the thing about trust. Once it shatters, you can gather the pieces all you want. The cracks will always be there. It's been 3 months now. I'm staying in a small apartment across town. The divorce papers sit on my desk and signed. Not because I want to reconcile, but because I needed time to remember who I was before I became someone's afterthought. She still writes to me sometimes. Emails, letters. She says she wishes she could undo it all, that she threw away the one person who always stood by her. Maybe she did. But sometimes the deepest betrayal isn't the kiss, or the dance, or the secret messages. It's the moment someone you loved made you feel invisible, and expected you to smile through it. I don't know if I'll ever forgive her. Maybe one day. Maybe never. What I do know is this. The night she danced with him, something in me died quietly. And when I walked away, I wasn't just leaving the party. I was leaving the version of me who kept waiting to be seen.